What time is it? It's about 1:10 or thereabouts. And I'm going to piggyback on the tail end of yesterday's talk about meditation. Um, I talked to or I was answering a question from our burpees friend, Burpee Bandit, and he was asking about meditation, length of meditation is a way to sort of supercharge your meditation practice so that you get maximum benefit with minimal time invested, which is a great question. It's funny though that um, the benefits really stem from that commitment of putting the time in, and it frees up other aspects of your life. So yeah, you might invest a little more time in your practice sitting, and you're doing something that is for many people, especially people um, tightly driven by their schedule, who are on the go, high energy, um, just charging forward in life. Um, it might be hard for them to take that seat, which makes it all important to do so, all the more important to do so, because you are literally sending the intent to every cell in your body: take a break, recharge, sit. And if you don't do that, you can only go guns a-blazing for so long. And then when it hits hard. You have a crash, you have a major crash. Maybe not everyone, but in my experience, most people who have a tendency to go out, hit a wall. Some can overcome that wall, and some people just crash and burn. They get back up, they continue, but there's ways of just entirely preventing that crash and burn to begin with. That's by dedicating that time to meditate. Now, I had mentioned that there actually is a way of supercharging, one of which is breathwork, pranayama. Use the term pranayama, but technically, uh, pranayama, at least as far as hatha yoga is concerned, always has a breath retention, either um, an internal breath hold, where we take a breath in and then hold, or we exhale and then hold, or or both, and it also has a uh, bandha lock, which is an energetic lock where you are tensing up a specific energy center of the body. There's several locks, but the ones that most people work with, the root lock, where you're squeezing the perennial muscles like you have to go to the bathroom and you're doing your best not to, right here, wherever you are. Um, and then we have the solar plexus lock, where the stomach is pulled in and up and you hold, and the throat lock, chin lock, where the chin is down and you are doing that along with a specific breath hold. That's the technical pranayama. However, now almost any breath work is considered pranayama, so it's a catch-all term, and it works for me. You get so many benefits, similar to if you sat for 20 minutes of meditation with just a few minutes invested in breath work. If if I could think of one miraculous all-purpose tool for this particular day and age, in the time of social media and busyness, um, divide, the one thing that would bring the biggest, almost instantaneous change would be breath work. It would have to be breath work. You can literally change the physiology of your body in a matter of minutes. You can change your emotional state. You can go from the sympathetic fight or flight state, which is so prevalent today because we're just always on edge. Life these days is designed to keep us on edge, it's designed to keep us fearful and reactive. I can't exactly say why. I don't know why, but it does seem purposely designed that way. And then we, by nature, okay, I don't want to say by nature, by conditioning, are set up, we're primed for that anyway. So basically, today's society and media just put a match to the gasoline that was already present in the conditioned mind and our conditioned physiology. So bam, the fire's lit and we rage, sadly so. In a space of 10 breaths, we can go 10 rounds, we can go from the sympathetic fight or flight reactionary state to the parasympathetic responsive rest and digest state. Just a few breaths. As well, certain breaths we do will help bring us in focus for whatever you need, whatever point needs to be um, directed to your nervous system. Revving up, getting even, bringing yourself down to prepare for sleep, or just to get in a deep rest for a few minutes. You can do it with the breath. You can combine it with 3 or 4 yoga poses and then lie in corpse pose and then simply shavasana, simply observe the breath. And then after you've observed it for a few minutes, you set the intent of doing some mindful breathing. If you need to relax, you do the 4 in, 8 out, or you can simply do the 4 in, 4 out. You can increase that to 5 and 5. I think 4 and 4 seems to be the best, but you can experiment, especially with the exhale. 4 in, 6 out, and you've reached that perfect length of breath that science literally calls the perfect breath. 5.5 inhale, 5.5 exhale. We are a fast breathing society. And the quicker we breathe, the more we're into that sympathetic nervous state. The quicker we breathe, the quicker we age. Now, I'm not saying that as far as, don't exercise so much, keep your breath nice and even. I'm just talking about through everyday life. Our breath rate, way too high. So many unique ways of using the breath to accomplish that greater state of calm, reaching a meditative state it's been an object of meditation for millennials. Since probably we first became aware that breathing was something specific, it's been an object of meditation. And as we meditate, what happens is the object itself, we become absorbed within the object. There's no separation between the object, the meditation, and the meditator. Seamless flow, seamless expression. Beautiful when it happens. So, breathwork and meditation, perfect. Breathwork, meditation, yoga, asanas, even better than perfect. But, man, if I had to do just one, for me personally, it would be meditation. However, if I had to recommend just one, I'd go with breathwork for the reasons that I stated. You can just make those changes so quickly. You can get many, if not all, of the emotional, physiological, maybe even psychological benefits of meditation from breathwork, from pranayama. It's a pretty good trade-off. Investing 3 to 5 minutes 3 times a day, which brings me to my own personal routine. For years, my pranayama was sort of approached haphazardly. I would sit and before I meditated, I would do some breath work. And it always deepens your meditation. So if you can get in some breath work before you meditate, awesome. But I didn't have like designated, except for that meditation, pre-breath, pre-meditation breath work. Except for that, I didn't have um, specific times of this is my practice. I'm going to breathe, do my breath work this time, and this time, until actually not too long ago when I did my pranayama breath coach certification and through Yoga Bunny. And the reason I did that is because he takes a very scientific approach. It is do this for this reason. Do this breath at this specific time for this reason. And then at this specific time, you do this breath or this type of breathing. And then on and on, 3 times a day. Breath work 3 times a day and therapeutically as needed. He divided it into what he called coffee breathing, water breathing, whiskey breathing. I like the coffee. I like the water. Whiskey breathing. I get the point. I know why he did it. And he gave it those labels because coffee breathing is done in the morning, helps wake us up, recharges us, charges us to begin with. We can also use it to as a warm-up before we exercise. We can use it whenever we need to lightly enter the sympathetic nervous state, where we need to be just a little bit into that fight or flight zone. We need to be revved up, but we want to do it naturally. We want to do it easily, and we want it to be sustained without the crash that you get from drinking a cup of coffee or countless cups of coffee or whatever other type of, caffeinated beverage that you might use. 2 breaths, 2 types of breathing he offers. Kapalbhati, which is breath of fire, skull shining breath. Kapal actually means skull, and bhati actually means illuminating. So skull shining. And I've demonstrated that on a video somewhere. It is a forceful exhale through the nose, and then an easy breath in. You are pushing the belly out, pushing the belly in, letting it relax to go out. Drawing it in sharply as you exhale. And then you gently, easily allow it to relax completely on its own. Cleanses out the lungs. It will put you into that very gently into that or the sympathetic nervous state. So you get that charge from it. Great way to work out. Great way to wake up. Sorry. And it's great to do before you work out. Again, it's a warm up for the lungs, as well as getting you, mentally set to do what you're going to do. He also uses bellows breath, which is very similar, except instead of having a passive inhalation, you have a forceful exhalation, a forceful inhalation at the same time. It's a very powerful breath. I prefer skull shining breath. It just feels better for me. I'm not someone who any longer enjoys being on edge. I have 1 cup of coffee a day, and I used to drink coffee all through the day. But just the past few years, being a little more even-keeled suits my temperament better. I do breath of fire twice a day, first thing in the morning, and then usually as part of my yoga prep, my yoga asana prep, where you do following Swami Sivananda's Hatha Yoga practice, where you do breath of fire for 3 rounds, and then you go into alternate nostril breathing for 5 minutes. And that's the pre-yoga part of the prep work that I do. That also becomes my afternoon practice. So I usually do that right around 11 o'clock. Now, originally in the yoga body classes, we're taught to teach people when you're doing alternate nostril breathing. Breathing in, always starting at your left, always ending on your left. Vishnu mudra, or we can just call it the pranayama mudra. And you block off one side, you breathe in for a count of 4 through the left, hold, breathe out for a count of 4 on the right, breathe in for a count of 4 on the right, breathe out for a count of 4. That would be 1 round. Keep your finger there, repeat the rounds without taking a break. So 4, hold, 4, 4, hold, 4, 1 round, 4, and you just keep going. We would count. You can count on the pads of your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 rounds. All you need. Or put up a clock. Again, the way Swami Sivananda taught was 5 minutes. Always make sure you end the 5 minutes left side. Begin on your left and on your left. Now, in Hatha Yoga, they add in a breath retention. So you would breathe in for a count of 4. You could hold for a count of 8. You exhale for a count of 8. Breathe in for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 8. Exhale for a count of 8. Or you could hold for a count of 16 and exhale for a count of 8. Makes it a little more, any breath retention makes makes it all the more powerful. That alone, 4, 16, 8, 4, 16, 8, it will become you practice that for 5 minutes, and you will, the focus that you bring is the same focus, the same absorption within the breath and the mudra. It becomes a meditation practice. Let's see. I'm going to look something up real quick. Now, in Hatha Yoga, it's called something, it's a little different. Adulam Vilam, which I actually don't, I think it just means alternate nostril breathing, versus Nadi Shodra, which it's the same thing, except I believe the Nadi Shodra has just a simple pattern, 4 in, 4 out, while the Adulam Vilam, has more involved breath retention as well. It is, again, it's a very powerful breath practice, and it can easily become a meditation completely on its own. In the evening, I practice a more relaxing breath. I will either do breathing in for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 8. It's the exhalation that really helps bring you back to the parasympathetic, the rest and digest, responsive, preparing for sleep. Also, the left side, breathing through the left nostril, is another very powerful tool of bringing you quickly into that parasympathetic state. So if you breathe in for a count of 4, both nostrils, always using the nostrils, and then back to the pranayama mudra, exhale for a count of 8. Nice and slow. Remember, it's not seconds, it's a count. So you would breathe in, breathing in 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then repeat 10 rounds. One round is breathing in both nostrils, breathing out left for a count of 8. Really gets you ready for sleep, really relaxes you completely. If I don't do that breath, I will do box breathing, which is familiar with a lot of people. I believe the Navy SEALs, specifically Navy SEALs snipers, had used that to bring the heart rate down, which is an important aspect of what they do, being calm. Again, being responsive and not so much reactionary. Box breathing is just even breath. Breathing in for count of 4, hold, count of 4, exhale for count of 4, hold on the retention for a count of 4. Box. In, hold, out, hold. You repeat the box. 10 rounds. Again, very powerful. It is lengthening the breath that makes it a whiskey breathing, that parasympathetic breathing. Again, because of the mudra, because of the breathing pattern, it can become a meditation practice on its own. Very powerful effects. If you combine that with laying down in Shavasana right after, and then just observing the breath as it naturally falls and rises, you have a pretty good meditation practice. Throw in 3 postures. I would suggest, there's so many, but if you just have to pick 3. Downward dog, garland pose, which is a full squat, using the elbows to open up the hips just a bit, holding that, and child's pose. And then go into Shavasana, which is the corpse pose, laying on your back, observing the breath. You got a pretty good meditative practice right there. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it for today. Covered a lot about breath work. If anyone has any questions, if anyone wants to learn more about breath work or meditation or some yoga, let me know. Just hook me up or hit me up, and I will talk to you guys later. All right? Take care.